Hello, everyone, and welcome to Learning Decoded, where learning is made simpler and easier for you guys. Have you ever opened 20 research articles only to feel more confused than before? You highlight everything, save dozens of PDFs, and still have no idea how to actually write a literature review. The truth is, a literature review is not just summarizing articles. It's about building an academic argument, identifying gaps, and showing how your research fits into existing knowledge. In this video, I will show you a step-by-step process to conduct a literature review in social sciences. Whether you're studying psychology, education, sociology, or any related field, by the end of this video, you will know exactly how to search, organize, analyze, and write literature review. First of all, you need to know what literature review is. So it's a structured examination of existing research related to your topic that most of you already know. For example, if your research topic is the impact of social media on adolescent self-esteem, your literature review will examine previous studies on social media use, findings about self-esteem, psychological theories, conflicting evidence, and unanswered questions. Before understanding what literature review is and how to do it step by step, you need to clearly know what literature review is not. It is not a summary, not a simple summary at all, not a collection of random articles. Not even copying quotations from studies. These are some of the mistakes that students do when they try to understand and work on their literature review. Now, why literature review even matter? Why do we do literature review when we are conducting research? Honestly, many students want to just skip this step, and this is one of the I would say the biggest troubles we face as a researcher. But that's actually very useful, and this is where we need to understand why we do it. First thing is to avoid repeating existing research. You do not want to redo what is already done in the exact way. So to avoid repeat the same thing, to identify gaps in knowledge, and this is the next one is related. Because if you will know what is done, then you will know what is not done. And then develop research questions. That's obviously important. After knowing what is not done, you will develop your research questions. The things that are the questions that you want to answer in your research and that you want to work on. And then, based on your research questions, literature review also helps you to guide your methodology. And it also builds your theoretical understanding. You cannot generally say sleep causes or sleeplessness causes depression, for instance. Rather, you need to understand, are they really related or not? And that understanding is provided through literature review. That's just general discussion about why literature review really matters. So before building a house, you must first examine the land. This is what we are doing. We are trying to build our research on a ground, and if we don't know what's underneath, we can't really build good or high quality research. Now, let's go to the next thing for which most of you are definitely watching this video. What are the steps for doing literature review? Each one at a time. Steps that are required to conduct the literature review. So the first step is that you all know is to define your topic. That most of you, if you're working on research or your assignment, you're already aware of what topic you're going to choose. And if not, then I will make another video to help you decide how to choose a research topic. Okay, to start with, the definition or how to define your defining your topic. For example, we define that mental health is our topic. Now, mental health is a weak topic because it is general and you can't really work or start your work on the literature review. So for that, you need to specify your topic. For example, instead of this general topic, I'm gonna go for a specific topic like effects of academic stress on university students. So now that was general, and I really don't know because mental health has various domains. It's like exploring a whole world without knowing which island you want to go to. So this actually helps you to understand the exact thing you need, which is very mandatory as a first step for your literature review. The second step that comes is, now once you have built your focus through the first step, the second is to identify the keywords. That actually helps you in conducting the search for your database in the right order. For instance, if we follow the same topic, effects of academic stress on university students, so we can identify our keywords for our search engine as academic stress, anxiety, university students, higher education, psychological well-being. Now, these are the different keywords that you will combine in your search engine to understand or to find your database or articles that you really need to review for your topic. Like, this is not fixed, obviously. You can use their synonyms once you have identified the keywords. You can also use their synonyms while searching. This will help you to get more articles, variety of articles, and then you can choose out of those articles based on different factors. Step 3 is search authentic database. Now, this is really important, and this is where most of the students kind of go to the wrong direction or really can't figure out the solid ground for their research. So the authentic databases are Google Scholar, that is good, really good for beginners, and then PubMed. Now these ones are specifically, as my focus is step-by-step literature review for social sciences. So these databases are useful for social sciences. So PubMed, Jester. Now some of you might know about some already. Eric, I'm just writing down and I'll later tell which one is for what. PsycInfo, Scopus. So these are the databases that are really authentic and you can rely on them, specifically these ones. And I am going to discuss these tools in the video later. All right, so after you have identified where you're gonna put these keywords or from where are you going to get your articles, the sources, now you definitely have got your articles after getting it from the authentic sources. After getting the articles, this is the time now where the real literature review begins. And what you need to do to start it is to read strategically or analytically or reflectively. Oh, it sounds really complex. I will try to simplify it in some other video because this requires a lot of detail to actually explain how you read strategically. But yeah, this is really important and I'm going to briefly share what this means basically. So you do not read every article word to word initially. First, you scan abstract. Scan means you don't go in the details. You just overview it. So you scan the abstract, the introduction of the article. Now I'm telling you, for example, if you're reviewing your article 1 that you found, you will have obviously multiple articles, maybe 20 or whatever number. So article 1, you will identify its abstract, its introduction, its methodology, its findings, and its conclusion. The same thing you're gonna do to the rest of your articles. Now, this actually is overwhelming to know that you have to individually, obviously, scan, not go deeper, scan all the articles that you have selected for your topic, for your literature review. All right. While scanning these, some of the questions are really helpful or really useful. I will try to note them down here for you, if you can see. So the questions that can help you to scan your articles are, what did the researchers study? Like, what was their main focus? And what did they find? What did they study? What did they find? And then what were their limitations? Again, we can go and break down each of these in detail, but I will have to make a separate video. Right now, my focus in this video is the step-by-step guide to really give you a good crux of how to write a literature review step by step. So here you have to focus on the questions like what they studied, what they found, what were the limitations of the research. These limitations actually can help you to identify gaps. The next step is organize your articles. Organize your articles. All right, so in organizing, definitely this step is not a separate or next progressive step. It's something that you are doing simultaneously with the previous step. So the previous step was you were scanning alongside your organizing. And for example, if you're better in handwriting, you can organize in your own separate register for your research project. If you are good in typing, you can go ahead with a Word document and you can insert a table there with author, year, sample, methodology, findings, and limitations of each article you're reviewing. Article 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. This table will actually consolidate all your data into one and will help you to later skim and scan. And if you want to go deeper into any of the information provided here, you can definitely go back to the article to understand it more. This actually saves a lot of time for you, especially when you start writing your literature review. Yeah, it's really annoying to know that so far you had been following all these steps, but you have not yet started the real writing of your literature review. But sometimes starting writing directly can end up in a lot of time wasted later by knowing that, oh, I did this wrong, I did that wrong. So it's better to structure, organize your data, and then use it for your writing later. All right. So the next step is analyze critically. Now again, as in case of fourth step, I said that reading strategically is also a very strong academic tool for your academic success, and understanding this is really important. And I'm gonna make a separate video to help you to understand what really read analytically, reflectively, or strategically means. Here, the same I would say for analyze critically. It's really a cognitive task, and it's not simple to understand if you already don't know about it. Yeah, if you're already good in it and you have had a good practice of analyzing things critically, then you're really good at it, and then you can go ahead. But otherwise, I am planning to make a separate video for this one as well, to make it simpler for you and to help you or support you in building your analytical skills or analytical critical skills. All right, so here, analyze critically means that you have to look for patterns. If that's okay if you don't understand it now. If you do, that's wonderful, that's great, and that's good for you to go. But if you don't, I will explain that in a separate video. So you have to look for patterns, you have to look for contradictions. What is contradicting? What is the opposite information? For example, Article 1 said there is a direct relation. Article 2 is saying there is an indirect relation. So such things come in contradiction. Patterns are the same things going over and over and over and over. Female were more depressed in a particular state, and that is a pattern set in different articles. The same thing. Then trends. What is the most common thing? And then theoretical perspective, what are the theories that are supporting all this framework? For example, we say that academic stress actually impact university students' mental health, for example. So mental health, academic stress higher, mental health lower. So this is supported by a theoretical framework. A theory also says the same thing, that when there will be higher stress, the mental health will be lower. So theoretical background, you have to analyze which theory backs this information or supports it. Then is methodological strengths and weaknesses. You have to identify the strengths and weaknesses of the review of the whole data that you're getting. What are the strengths and what are the weaknesses? This analysis is the heart of literature review writing, and this will actually shape everything in your writing for you. So the 3 steps that we just did, they were quite complicated. I hope I tried my best to make them simple for you, and I hope somehow you understand. But if you still don't, then comments are open for you, and I will definitely try to make it even more elaborative and simpler. All right. 7th step, after you have done the major steps of your literature review and you have got everything in your hand now it's the high time where you synthesize or start writing your literature review. All right, so here, instead of discussing studies one by one, group them by themes. Make headings, make themes, and instead of telling that article 1 said this, article 2 said this, make themes and merge similar themes under one heading or one theme. For example, the topic we were covering, we can say that positive impact of social media was also seen. Then there were negative psychological effects, and there was moderating role of family support. So these are the different things that we analyzed from our data, and we are putting them together in themes. For example, article 2, 7, and 9 just said about a lot about this. Then article 3, 5, and 4 said about this, and so and so. So this is how you synthesize your data. You make headings or themes, and you put similar things together or contradictory things together to elaborate or give a background or a ground, a support, a scaffold for your topic. All right, now this is going to create a flow or coherence in your information, and the reader, whoever will be reading, will be able to understand where this person is coming from, where this person is going. It's similar to if I start telling you, event 1 of my life was this, event 2 of my life was this, event 3 of my life was this, and I'm trying to explain my personality to you. This explanation will not work for you. But if I try to tell you the disasters or the stress in my life was this, and that actually impacted me this way, and the positive things were that impacted me that way. So I try to make themes of stressors and positive things, and that actually helps you to understand my personality better. I hope this was a good example to explain what themes are and how they really shape or bring flow or coherence in the data and makes easier for your readers to understand. All right. Let's discuss an example to make things even more clear. Suppose your topic is effect of sleep deprivation on academic performance. So if we are talking in our literature, we are giving a sentence. A weak sentence would say, study A found this, study B found this. While if you want to write a stronger review, that would be, for example, research consistently demonstrates a relationship between sleep deprivation and reduced academic performance among university students. However, while qualitative studies shows significant correlations. Limited qualitative research explores students' lived experiences of sleep-related academic difficulties. Now, if you don't understand what analytic writing means, you're definitely going to face a lot of difficulty in understanding the stronger view. So for that, definitely you have to first build your skills in analytical writing, and then you will be able to process and write more quality literature reviews for your research. I'll definitely try my best to make another video on this as soon as possible I could. And here you just notice the difference that the second example is trying to compare studies, and they have identified patterns and they are highlighting the research gap, while this one is just giving a summary of what is already done. This one, on the other hand, is telling about what are the patterns, what are the gaps, and they are basically comparing the research studies. This example is critical analysis, and this one is just a summary. I hope you identify the difference. Some of the common mistakes that students make. First common mistake is they use non-academic websites, not websites which are not authentic. And the ones I shared with you in the beginning or in the start of the video, they were the authentic database sites and you can trust on them. While students who rely on non-authentic academic websites, they actually get wrong information or confused direction in their literature review. Then writing article by article summaries is another mistake that comes in summary, but here in literature review we are required to do the critical analysis, not a summary. Third mistake is ignoring recent studies. Then fourth is they include irrelevant information. Then they do not identify research gaps. They overuse direct quotations, and they fail to connect studies together. Literature review should be telling a connected story, not just a summary. So this is what we have to keep in mind, that critical analysis is really important. And the best database sources are Google Scholar, PsycInfo, which is excellent for psychology research, ERIC is great for education studies, and Gesta is useful for theories. When you're reviewing literature, one more thing that is important is referencing the literature. Without that, you can't really quote that literature in your work. And for referencing, I can make a separate video, but generally telling you that Mendeley, EndNote, Zotero, they are actually really useful tools to organize your data and it just makes your reference or bibliography just a matter of one click. My final advice to you guys is, while conducting a literature review, it is definitely going to feel overwhelming, but it's manageable when it's broken into clear steps, as just in this video I shared with you. So you should focus on relevance, patterns, critical thinking, and organization. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. I hope I made it simpler, and I hope that it was not confusing. It must have been overwhelming. I can't save you from that because literature review is overwhelming. But if you organize it from the very beginning, it can become easier each passing day for you. And in the end, it will be easier for you to write or synthesize your literature reviews. I'm not saying write your literature reviews. I will say synthesize your literature review, because this is what we understood, that it's not a summary, it's a critical analysis. Okay, so if this video helped you understand literature reviews more clearly, do not forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with other students and researchers. And do comment below if you want me to share more related topics, or if you really need some more information about a specific thing I discussed in this video. And also, you can share your own topics with me, and I will try my best to make more research related videos for you guys. I hope it was helpful and it was simpler. Thank you so much for watching so far. Good luck for your research, and goodbye.